First up towards a big development coming in from Kerala, Coast Guard ships stood guard without sleep throughout the night, working to cool down the blazing Wan Hai vessel that burned like a furnace. The mission to extinguish the fire, which stretched through day and night, was carried out by Coast Guard ships Sachet and Samudra Prahari. The ship, which was carrying hazardous and toxic materials, caught fire, prompting a large-scale rescue and also containment effort. Experts have warned that some of the chemicals in fact leaked during the ship accident could also cause a major explosion. According to the Directorate General of Shipping, the vessel was loaded with cargo classified as quote-unquote dangerous goods. Although the fire in the forward bay has been brought under control as of now, thick plumes of smoke still emanate from the ship. Indian Coast Guard vessels Samudra Prahari and Sachet remained deployed, continuing firefighting and also boundary cooling operations. Amidst the crisis, the incident has now sparked a political backlash. The Congress party has announced statewide protest against the ruling CPIM-led LDF government, accusing the Pinarayi Vijayan administration of neglecting repeated ship-related incidents along the Kerala's coast. Congress has now claimed a quote-unquote mystery behind these accidents, which are causing severe environmental and also safety concerns. Mandalam committees will lead these protest marches in coastal districts on Wednesday, demanding accountability and also transparency in the state's maritime safety protocols. Let's discuss this further. Environmental activist Joseph Hoover is joining us on the broadcast. Joseph, thank you so much for joining us for the conversation here at News 9. If a little bit of hazardous material has been leaked into the sea, what kind of damage can it cause to the entire, human chain living across the sea line?
The marine ecology is going to be devastated. We saw what happened the last incident when a Liberian ship created a lot of havoc there.
Yes.
We lost dolphins, we lost turtles, and then people were complaining about plastic kind of material coming out of the shore. So we've already seen what the impact could be. So now with this fire and then there being hazardous chemicals on board the ship, it's going to be a disaster. It's very unfortunate that this is happening in Kerala again and again. In a fortnight, if there are 2 incidents, then there's reason to be worried. So are we prepared for these kind of exigencies? And it's going to have such an impact on the marine ecology. Whatever chemical has been spilled into the sea, the seabed, it's going to affect the coral reef. There are a little bit of coral reefs here and there which are sustaining. It's going to impact the fish life there. And people who consume the fish or any other product from the sea are definitely going to have, they're definitely going to be impacted. So who's accountable for this? So yes, shipping companies, we need them because mass carriage of cargo is the cheapest form. Shipping is the cheapest mode. But what are the things that they kept in place? What if something happens? What is the kind of precautions we have? And how are we going to challenge these exigencies? That is something that we have been found wanting over and over again. The government has done nothing about it. Blaming the shipping companies, yes, they are at fault. But what are we prepared? It's going to impact our lives. And people in India along the coast, they all subside on, they live on fish, they eat fish, they sell fish. So it's going to be this produce is going to be spread all across the country. Now, what are we going to do in this kind of scenario? What are the precautions? Now, yes, we are saying this has happened. We are trying our best to put out the fire. We are hoping it does not sink. if it sinks, it's a disaster. But how are we prepared? Yes, there is a valiant effort being put by our coastal guards. Everybody is making effort. But this cannot be happening again. In a fortnight, if this has happened twice in Kerala, it is really worrisome. Our experts, we have the maritime experts, we have the government, which also looks at all these aspects. They need to put things in perspective. We need to address from A, B, C, D, from the grassroots. We can't just say that we are experts, we know we have the technology to do that. The other day, one of the experts was talking about we have the technology to take care of it. Now, what is the technology being used in this kind of scenario? The fire has to be put out. How are you going to put out the fire? How are we going to save the ship from being from sinking? And if it sinks, how are we going to manage the damage that is going to cause? So these are questions that we need to address, and it has to be done post haste. We cannot be sitting on and allowing things to happen, then reacting. How are we proactive in these kind of aspects? This is really worrisome because Kerala, for reasons for God only knows why it's happening there and again. They've been devastated ecologically. They've been their Western Ghats. They've ravaged it. Now in their sea, the coastline is also being ravaged. It's being devastated. So why is it happening only in Kerala? Are the people
Is
not
coming in.
ready for these kind of incidents, or
Right.
are they being just casual about things happening and it doesn't matter, it happens once, we let it happen? They should now stand up together and say we don't want these things to happen. They need to save themselves.
Absolutely. In fact, Joseph, we are looking at the visuals coming in of, efforts being continuously made to just douse the fire in some manner. But I am also being joined by my colleague Alex Mathew on the phone line. Alex, what's the latest? We have been given to understand that the fire has partially been controlled. If yes, then what kind of respite has that got for us?
Actually, as of now, the fire has partially been, yes, it is controlled, and now there are there is a salvage. There's a salvage ship from Dutch, from Netherlands is deployed. Smith, a company named Smith Salvage, has also deployed to move containers as containers, and they're trying to also they're trying to move the containers and also a lot of containers have fallen overboard. And with these hazardous chemicals inside the containers, it will affect the marine ecosystem. So they are trying to contain this, and also within a day, these containers will reach the shore. This fallen containers will reach the shore, and there will be sample testing of these substances, and also the the Kerala Disaster Management Authorities have already started collecting the sample of the seawater, and the high and such things have been going on, and also since partially the fire has been contained. So other efforts to make to move the primary challenge is to move these containers from the ship. That is the challenge, and also not the bunker tank with 2,000 ton of heavy fuel oil and 240 ton of diesel oil is there, and that before they're trying to seize that area, not to catch the fire. Also, that is the primary challenge right now.
Alex, please stay on with us. Let me come back to Joseph. Joseph, I want to really understand from you, the leak toxicity that has now gone to the seas system. What kind of movement do we usually see with that? And usually also, how long does it take to completely eradicate those toxins out of the water system? Or does that stay there forever?
Sakshi, we have seen in the past, like the oil spills across the globe, how it has been addressed, because most of the countries which have been affected are prepared. They're well prepared now. They quickly get into the system and try to control the damage. But here in our case, when all this toxicity gets into our water system, it's definitely going to have a long-term impact. It's not going to be immediately eradicated. It cannot be immediately controlled. So it's going to have a long-term impact on all of us. And the worst part is we are seeing examples of saying that dolphins in one part they died, turtles have died, fishes have died, and we are seeing all kind of chemical the what do you call the reactions of the chemical of the seawater that has spilled over to the shores, and people are seeing that and they're worried. Now, if this keeps spreading, there have been 2 incidents in the matter of 15 days. You can imagine it's a double whammy. This destruction is a double whammy. So it could spread its toxic tentacles across the ecosystem there in Kerala. And it could even reach, depending on the wind, depending on how the current is, it's definitely going to flow wherever the flow is, wherever the current is. So the current scenario.
Right.